Hello, it's Anika from Living for Later. Do you find that you are extremely mean and low on energy when you fast? Well, this video is for you. So, as you all know, I have been hanging out in Matthew 4 for quite some time. And yesterday I had a chance to speak on this. And I was kind of just making some jokes in the message about how when we fast, at least for me personally, I just was a mean person, and I found that I was always easily aggravated. And I was just making the point about, Jesus in Matthew 4, how when he was in the wilderness, he 40 for 40 days and for 40 nights. And I just remember if I fasted for half a day, I just felt like I was, gonna pass out. It was just so difficult for me. But I have found that the things that I eat before going on the fast really makes a difference for how the fast plays out. So let me just do some backtracking. A few months ago, a really sweet friend of mine shared with me that the Lord had laid on her heart to fast for my healing, and she asked me to join her, or she invited me. It was an option. She didn't twist my arm to join her on the fast, and I agreed to do so reluctantly, right? Because I don't like fasting. I really don't. But, what do you say if somebody's like, oh, I'm going to fast for you. Would you like to join me? That wouldn't sound too spiritual if I said no. So anyway, I agreed to do it. But the fast ended up being just a really great thing for me because it helped to recalibrate me and to give me the right focus. And though, I didn't get off the fast and have a full head of hair, I realized that the fast really helped to give me a proper perspective, and just healing did take place internally, and the Lord just began to reveal even more to me, and just a different perspective, totally different perspective in terms of what's going on with my hair. So I praise God for that. But the fast was needed, and after we were done, and even though I wasn't always consistent with it, after we were done, I started to look more into intermittent fasting, and it was something that I had done in the past on and off, but I really wanted to try to be more consistent with it. And I just have found recently, as I've been doing more intermittent fasting and eating, certain windows in the day, and really even while I'm not eating, to be intentional about praying and reading my word. But I've noticed that this time around it's a little bit different, and it's not to say that I don't ever get hungry while I am fasting. The truth is I am human, but I find that my energy levels aren't as low, and I'm not as mean as I was before because of the foods that I'm consuming, again, before I get on the fast. And it's foods that's more nutritious and, filled with what my body needs. So because of that, I'm not going on these super lows anymore. And I think that sometimes we get turned off from the idea of fasting because we dread the headaches that come. We dread just the symptoms of detox. But again, if you're feeding your bodies the right thing, it's not to say that you won't get hungry, but you won't go as low. And I think that there's also a spiritual correlation here, right? That sometimes we feed our spirits the wrong thing, and it wages war when we go on fast, and we're like, no, we're turning off the TV, no, we're shutting down social media, and our bodies are like, what are you doing to me? Because we fed our spirits the wrong things, and we have to go through detox. So we get discouraged from fasting when it's something that we really need to do. It's something that as believers we need to implement into our spiritual discipline. And it's not just for the natural benefit, but also for the spiritual benefit. But I'm just so amazed at how there's benefits for both, right? So God knew what he was talking about. Go figure, right? When he tells us that it's something that we should do, and Jesus himself, when he was here on earth, gave us an example. He himself fasted. So I just want to encourage you to consider if fasting has been something where you're like, nope, that's not for me. I know I need to do it, but I just don't like what happens. Consider what you're feeding yourself spiritually and even naturally before you fast. And that, again, makes a difference for how the fast plays out for you. Reality is fasting is not a comfortable thing. So there are going to be moments because your flesh is being crucified in the process. So it's not like you can go on cruise control when you're fasting. That's the point, right? To crucify the flesh. But I think that, again, there can be some differences depending on what we're feeding our spirit. So I just want to encourage you. Google is a wonderful tool. If you feel like, I'm not ready to go on a 10-day fast or a 3-day fast or whatever, look up intermittent fasting, where you can fast certain windows throughout the day, and start off there. It's something, again, that it just has great benefits, both naturally and spiritually. So look up intermittent fasting and just even the things that you can eat in that during your eating windows to help to nourish your body and to help the process itself. All right, you be blessed.